Welcome. So, what if I told you that the secret to being a truly great leader isn't just about strategy or logic? What if it's actually hardwired into your brain and not just one part of it? In this briefing, we're going to dive into the neuroscience of leadership and see how understanding your own biology can totally change the way you lead. Let's get into it.
Okay, let me start by asking you this. Are you leading with your whole brain? For decades, we've thought of leadership as all about logic, data, and cold, hard analysis. But what if that's only part of the story? What if you're only using a fraction of your real potential? The idea here is that true leadership comes from tapping into all the centers of intelligence we have. And that brings us to this really fascinating concept, the idea of the three leadership brains. And no, this isn't just a metaphor. We're talking about recognizing that we have different neurological centers that process information in completely unique ways. And the absolute best leaders, they learn how to get all of them working together in perfect alignment.
So, check this out. This table breaks down how these centers create real leadership qualities. You've got your head brain, right? That's your analytical engine, and it fuels creativity. Then there's the heart brain, which processes emotions and gives you compassion. And finally, the gut brain. That's tied to your core identity, giving you the courage to act. The key is balance. If you're all head and no heart, for instance, your leadership is going to feel pretty one-dimensional.
Let's start with the one we all know best, the head brain. This is our command center for all things logical. Strategy, planning, problem solving. It's how we can look at a really complex situation, come up with a plan, and then explain it clearly to everyone. This is where innovation and creative solutions are born from that really rigorous thinking. Next up, we have the heart brain. Think of this as your hub for emotional intelligence. It's where we process our values, our feelings, and our ability to really connect with other people on a human level. For any leader, this is absolutely essential. It's the source of compassion and empathy, the very things you need to build trust and a team that sticks together. And rounding it out is the gut brain. This is our oldest, most primal center. It's all about our core identity and survival instincts. You know that gut feeling you get right before a big decision? Yep, that's this system kicking into gear. It's where you find your conviction, your drive to mobilize, and that raw courage to make a tough call, especially when you don't have all the answers. Okay, so now that we know about these three brains, let's put them into a real-world scenario that every leader faces, making decisions when the pressure is on. This is where things get really interesting, because understanding how stress messes with these systems is a total game changer. And here's the critical piece of science you need to know. When we get super stressed, our biology just takes over. Our cerebral cortex, that's the logical thinking part of our brain, basically goes offline. And what takes its place? The limbic system, our emotional, reactive fight-or-flight center, grabs the steering wheel. And this just lays out the difference so clearly. On the left, that's what happens when your limbic system is in charge. Your decisions become emotional, reactive, and honestly, way more likely to be wrong. But look at the right. When a leader can consciously integrate their head, heart, and gut, they get to a place of balance. Their choices become conscious, productive, and neurologically aligned. All right, let's pivot to another huge challenge for every single leader out there, managing change. As it turns out, neuroscience gives us an incredible way to understand why this is just so hard for so many people. And this is the absolute crux of it. For most of us, resisting change isn't some deliberate act of defiance. It's a hardwired, primal reaction. The brain's limbic system sees the uncertainty that comes with change as a direct threat to its safety, and that triggers these deep-seated feelings of fear and anxiety. It's automatic. So if that threat response is automatic, what on earth are you supposed to do as a leader? Well, this is where a fantastic diagnostic tool comes in. You need to understand the 4 predictable stages your team will almost always go through when they're facing a big change. And I bet you've seen this play out before. It usually starts with denial. This isn't really happening. Once that wears off, it often shifts into anger and frustration. But here's the crucial turning point: exploration. This is when people stop fighting and start thinking, okay, how can we make this work? And only then can the team really move into genuine acceptance. So what's your job in all of this? It's not to fight this natural process. It's to be the guide. Your job is to light the path forward. By recognizing what stage your team is in, you can give them the psychological safety and the clear communication they need to move from that feeling of being threatened to feeling empowered to embrace the change. So let's bring this all home.
Leading with all three brains isn't about picking your favorite one. It's about integration. It's about building the skill to be a whole, complete, and much more powerful leader. This quote from the research just nails it, doesn't it? It's not about choosing your head over your heart or your gut over your head. It's about being able to access the integrated wisdom of all three to make decisions that are not only smart, but also feel right.
And here's your action plan, the stuff you can start doing today. First, make a conscious effort to align those three core qualities, your creativity, compassion, and courage. Second, get better at recognizing the signs that stress is hijacking your decision-making. Third, really let it sink in that change feels like a threat to the brain. And finally, use that knowledge to guide, not force your team through those stages of adaptation.
So I'll leave you with one last question to take with you. As you think about the challenges you're facing right now, today, which leadership brain do you most need to engage? Is it your analytical head, your empathetic heart, or your courageous gut? Think about it.